Aries, welcome to your 5-card movie star spread. As per usual, you can click right on that description box below, and it will talk about the significance of the spread as well as the placement of each card. Ooh. Okay, your cards are yelling at me. So the High Priestess in the inverse flipped over, and the World in the inverse flipped over. Aries, what are you doing to yourself? King of Cups in the inverse. 10 of Swords. 8 of Wands. Okay, this isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Aries, let's get down to it. You know, y'all are my favorite sign to read for. I know I'm not supposed to pick favorites, but man, are y'all interesting. Plus, you get that Queen of Swords in the inverse a lot of the times, and I love when Aries cusses people out for self-preservation. Anywho. The High Priestess in the inverse, there is an unknowing. There is a, you had a plan, right? And you wanted things to work out a certain way, and you took certain steps to try and control the outcome. And then, bam, curveball. You know what I mean? And now you're kind of in a state of unknowing. You're collecting the information. You're seeking answers. And it kind of feels like you fell off track. Like you had a plan for a certain thing to happen in a certain period of time. Then you get this curveball. Now you're seeking the answers because you still want to elevate, but you recognize that your return on investment isn't going to come in the time frame that you wanted. But you haven't lost faith in the idea that you can still make this thing happen. You just have to change a few things and take a systematic approach. The time frame that you wanted is shot to shit, but the actual achieving the goal is still possible. You just need to rework the plan. And in all honesty, people can see that this is affecting you emotionally, but they also recognize that you're regrouping and you're going to get yourself back on your feet. So this is a very independent vibe of things didn't work out in the time frame or the way that I wanted them to, but that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It just means I need to change a few things. So this is you switching up your tactics. And, you know, I tell people in the readings a lot, if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. So you were doing what you always do, and that didn't work out. So now you're like, oh, well, shit. If I want something I've never had, I have to be willing to do something I've never done before. I need to change something within myself. I need to do something different to get me what I need. There was a big disappointment, and you let the people closest to you know about that disappointment, but you didn't do it like, oh, woe is me, oh, pity me, oh, I'm a victim. You went, oh, I'm really disappointed this didn't work out that way, but I'm going to switch it up. And everybody who sees you is like, yeah, Aries is going to do that shit because that's what Aries does. In the Journey card, you have the 10 of Swords. And this is a very painful looking card because it's a very painful thing. But what this tells me is you are at the end of this pain, that the worst is over. You are at that point where all you can do is move upward and onward. Speaking of upward and onward, speaking of moving, your possible outcome is just that. It is action and forward movement. But like I said in the beginning, where you're still gathering information because you don't have it yet, if you notice, there's 8 wands here and they're all moving forward. They are not grounded and there's nothing holding them there. Everything is up in the air, but it's okay because it's still moving forward. It's better to have everything up in the air and forward movement than everything on the ground and stagnation. And that is how you feel this morning, Aries. You're like, you know what? Things didn't work out the way I wanted it to. That's fine. I'll be okay. But I'd rather still have the option to make the changes and that forward movement than have everything on the ground and I can't do anything with it. It takes more energy to pick it up at that point. See? Yep. You got beautiful. You got 2 major arcana here. You got the Chariot. Okay. The Chariot is about, so the Charioteer has a goal in mind. Okay. and they have the self-discipline, and they have the roadmap, and they have the ability, they have the self-discipline to balance the opposing forces to bring them the way that they want to go, and they have the roadmap. This isn't about, you know, looking at the horizon and heading for the horizon. This is about having a roadmap of saying, I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to turn here, and then I'm going to get there. You know, I'm going to make that left-hand turn at Albuquerque. If you get that reference, good on you. So this is you with your eye on the prize, moving forward and taking control of a situation that didn't exactly go the way you wanted it to. But there is some confusion along the way. You recognize that is not 100% clear path. You might have this roadmap, but this is a road you've never traveled before, which is good because, like I said, if you want something you never had, you have to be willing to do something you've never done. You thought you had the perfect roadmap. You're just put on a detour. But you know where it is you want to go. You know what it is you want to accomplish, and you're going to feel your way through this situation come hell or high water. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. You had a plan, you're on a detour. You're not missing your goal. It's just going to take you a little longer to get there than you thought. Aries, I hope you found a message that serves your highest good, and I will see you next week.